The Riven Realms. Alright, let's continue. So I'm in Avernum, or Avernum, or Avernum, but I think it's... I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be Avernum or Avernum. I kind of say both interchangeably. We are investigating this conspiracy that led to the betrayal of Sidarius. Yo, 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 Sin, what's going on? How you doing? This is Vagrus, the Riven Realms. The Riven Lands? The Riven Realms. I don't know why it says the Riven Lands in my stream title. I need to change that. Realms. It's kind of like a cross between Sunless Sea and Darkest Dungeon. But probably more Sunless Sea. I mean, it has Darkest Dungeon-like combat. Not exactly, but similar. But, it's mostly like exploring on the map and like managing your caravan and all your resources and supplies and stuff. And then lots of like text stories and stuff. So you've got like this crew of your traveling company, and you've got to manage everything, food and supplies and money, and you've got to pay your people, and then you can buy and sell different trade goods and go between places. You can get different equipment for your caravan that go in different slots. You can have stuff in your cargo hold. Then you've also got companions. It's like an RPG. You can actually download a free demo of it, which is what this is. A demo of the, like, tutorial of the game. Let me grab you a link real quick. Let me grab you a quick link. If you go to Vagrus, if you go to download the prologue, it takes you to Game Jolt. And this is where you can get it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty complex. Yeah, the map is huge. There's the link. So you too can click a link. Yeah, I mean, take a look at this map, Sin. Right, this is where we are. We started up here by Scrap Heap, and we've been traveling all the way down to here. But you can scroll around, and there's like just tons of shit on the map everywhere. Right? You see how much stuff there is. And then, watch this. Look how big it is! It's pretty huge, and as you zoom in, you start to see all these little places. And each place you can actually click on, and it has a codex entry, or you can mark it to like travel there. I mean, you can't go most of these places during the prologue, which is just what this demo is. But in the full game, you can travel around quite a bit. How does the story end? I have no idea. And then you have your companions. They're the ones that do your fighting when you get into battles, and they have all kinds of stats, and you can level them up and buy different things for them. And you got different ones that join you, and you can get gear for them. And then you've got your own leader, and you can put all these different points into different things as a leader. And you can also spend your points to also level up your companions. And, you've got a little journal here with all the things. Someone suspects you're up to no good. Agreed to take the water merchants to Vitrar. So you get all these different quests and pieces of information in your journal, and then there's a codex, which has tons of codex entries. I've only found 58 so far, but there's, you know, a lot, and these are lengthy. They have a lot of information about different things, all the different locations, and the gods, and the political organizations, and, you know, the money, and all that stuff, and the churches, the history of the world. It's pretty in depth so far. It's pretty in depth. How you doing, Amaranth? So right now I'm in town. I'm not traveling around in the world, so I'm not having to worry so much about supplies and stuff. But like each day that passes, my caravan eats a bunch of stuff, right? Like each day they eat 94 units of supplies because I have all these different crew that eat, and I've got my beasts of burden and my mounts that eat, and I have to make sure I have enough supplies for everybody. And then I also have to pay my workers as well, so each day I have to pay this much money. If I got more people, I'd have to pay more. And I have to maintain the morale of my crew by keeping them happy, and also I have to keep them well rested so they don't get too tired. So I can't march too far, and I have to like make sure we get plenty of rest and make sure everybody gets plenty of food. And I can buy and sell goods and stuff. It's pretty... You're doing okay. Feel drained today? Me too, Amaranth. All I wanted to do was just lay down a bunch. I took a little nap, and I got up from my nap, and I was like, you know what I want to do now? Take a nap. So then you go and you have all these storylines, and you've got all these choices you can make. You know, dialogue choices, and there's skill checks and stuff. And, like, quests, and... There's a lot of reading in this, though. Like, a shitload of reading. And there's also combat, though. There's also combat. Like, and the combat is similar in some respects to like Darkest Dungeon or Deep Sky Derelicts, although it's not a card-based thing. Like, I can go fight in the arena again, but I'm not going to because I think we're going to get our ass kicked because the last fight was pretty hard. Let me see what I've got in terms of medical supplies. I have 10. And what do I have in terms of... 8 out of 10 health. 12 out of 12. Alright, we're not going to use any medical supplies right now. We're going to go bet on the fights. Today's bettings are open for the evening fight. You know nothing about the contestants, but you might get lucky. So we're going to spend 2 leergs, which is copper coins, to bet. Alright, that's 3 times in a row we've lost betting on the fights. Fighters lose the skirmish, their blood smoking on the hot sands. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I think the only other thing we really... Oh, we could explore the city. Let's go for a walk and see what we can find. You find a small drug den tucked away in an alley in the worst part of town. Upon entering, you're greeted by a half-elf with a sleazy smile and the powerful smell of Bog Weed. So, let's see what Bog Weed is. Bog Weed is both the name of a plant found in many swamps around the Empire and of the recreational drug that is derived from the plant. It rose to popularity much before the calamity, but thanks to large areas turning to marshlands after the catastrophe, its usage became more widespread. It can be taken by smoking, usually rolled in a reefer, as a potion, although this requires higher alchemy skills, or by vaporizing in a Tarkian hookah. Some food recipes also exist that utilize bogweed for its added effect, but these are quite rare. Bogweed causes a calm, almost meditative state, coupled with a sense of glee or joy when taken in the right dosage, but it can damage the mind if taken in excess or through prolonged exposure. Though technically not illegal, due to harsh imperial taxation, many underworld organizations rather smuggle it than sell it on the black market. Welcome, Dominus. How may we be of service? It is evident from the empty cushions and sofas that business is not booming. So I could try something more potent. I could do some Bog Weed. I don't think I want to get drugged up right now, though. I don't wish to dull my senses right now. You leave. Okay, I can only explore the city once per day. Same with the betting on the pits. Now, I could get in another arena fight, but I don't want to because I'm afraid of us getting our asses kicked. There's nothing to do for me at the temples. I could go to Skornar and buy some Bog Weed. I can buy Bog Weed from him for 4 Leerg, which is copper. And then I can buy some more. And then I can just come over here to the marketplace and I can sell it for 2 silver apiece, which is a nice little way to make money, but I think it's bugged. I think it's supposed to be limited, but for right now in this demo it's unlimited, so I could literally sit here and make infinite money doing that if I wanted to, which I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to do. So I don't want to exploit it too much. Alright, it's time to investigate. So we've got 2 choices for today. We can go find Centurion Vardus Pendius at the Rusty Pugio, or seek out the Smelter's Collegium and Gallows Anvil. I'm gonna go find the Centurion at the Rusty Pugio. The Rusty Pugio is a fairly clean establishment, with primarily soldier and veteran regulars. Because of this, not many shady fellows visit the place. That does not mean, however, that the regulars are well behaved or sober. You can see a legionnaire passed out on a bench, while a few auxiliary troopers are playing a dice game in the far corner, laughing and swearing foully. You ask the barman if Vardus Pendius is here, and he points you to a swarthy, short, pot-bellied man in his 40s, wearing the dirty armor and uniform of a centurion. His helmet rests next to him on the bar. He's drinking alone. I'm going to ask Javik to spy on his mind. Javik concentrates briefly while looking in the general direction of the Centurion. He sighs after a few seconds and turns away. Can't do it, boss. He's drunk, which means his thoughts are behind a kind of fog. Even if he wasn't, I can't find specific things. I can only read what he's thinking about. You need to guide him to think about the patrol, and even so, there's no guarantee that my abilities will be useful here. You nod and decide what to do next. Let's talk to the bartender. That worked out well for us the last time we did that in a bar. The bartender leans closer as you gesture to her, large shoulders and a legionnaire tattoo indicating that she's a veteran. You carefully tell her that you wish to spice up Pendius's drinks, but mean him no harm. Her eyes narrow, the scar on her cheek twists into a wicked smile. Good luck with that, old boozer, if you think you can get him smashed. But why would I help? I could convince her to spice up Pendius's drinks with a very high chance of success because we have a huge amount of charisma and persuasion, because I upped Javik's charisma and persuasion quite a bit. So our chance of success on this is really high. And we succeeded. You take the first mug of spiced up booze to the Centurion. Vardus Pendius eyes the drink suspiciously, but his alcoholism gets the better of him, and, giving you a friendly smile, he takes it. And what do I owe this gift, friend? Fellow soldier? You don't look like that to me. He slurs his words as he eyes you up and down. The two of you start to chat, with Javik sitting at a table in line of sight. You know you have to bring the conversation to the patrol he went on near the Molten Tongue, so that your friend can read his corresponding thoughts. Pendius is already more than tipsy from the spiced-up booze, but he's a little wary. Do my best to guide the conversation there, not raise a suspicion. High chance of success. Continue to buy him spiced-up drinks until he's drunk enough to outsmart. Very high chance of success. but it'll cost me 2 coins. 2 copper. Well, I don't mind spending the 2 copper, because I don't want to fuck this up. Pendius has formidable resilience when it comes to booze, yet you manage to get him blind, stinking drunk. You also guide the conversation to his notorious patrol to the north that only he survived. Not even his intoxication can hide his fear when he talks about the recon mission.
No! What you think it was? Those poor boys deserve not this.
He laments. You could swear there are tears in his eyes. He mumbles about the whole affair not being what it seemed. So I think he wasn't part of the conspiracy. I think he got tricked too. Soon afterwards you excuse yourself, but by then Pendius is non-coherent anyways. You and Javik leave the Rusty Pugio. You go back to the Mancio, where Javik tells you he was mostly successful in reading the drunkard's thoughts on the patrol. He's clearly paranoid about the whole matter. He recalled his comrades killed. But not out there in the wastes, but in some kind of death trap in a large room. All young recruits. I think they publicly set up his patrol only to kill off everyone but him, and told him to pretend they got slaughtered by abolitionists in the north. Basically, they created a fake story to make our nightly associate and his cohort think they are going to find a camp there. It boggles my mind how far they went to protect something. He kept thinking about Scoria, the district here in town. Maybe the massacre was done here. You're done with this part of the investigation. Alright, we can't do any more investigating on this day. We can't report back to Sidarius yet. There's nothing else we could do today unless we want to try to fight in the arena again. Alright, we'll try to fight in the arena again. I'm gonna go hire, Boro or whatever his name is first. So I'm gonna go to see Skornar, ask for muscle, hire Boro, the breaker, for the arena, spend a bros. Then I'm gonna take my leave. Then I'm gonna go to the arena. I'm gonna enter the roster. I'm gonna fight in the arena. According to Falco, your next opponents are 2 ex-soldiers from an auxiliary legion. Expert slingers, both, who ended up becoming poachers in the arena after gambling away their veteran annuity. The last member of their team is a tracker they befriended in one of the worst drinking holes in the city. They are probably more of a threat than one would think, having made it this far in the pit fights. I tell Boro to gear up. Boro enters the fray. Fighters into the pit alongside Boro. Nox, how you doing? Mrrr. Oh, we got slingers and a guy with a turtle on his head. Alright, we're gonna put Boro right here. Morrowind right here. Javik right here. Begin fight. Alright, Morrowind is going to strafe. But she missed both of them. Unfortunate. Javik is going to premonition on Boro. I'm doing well, Nox. Welcome back from the work demons. Target and cover, miss. Nice. Alright, Boro can stun. He can bull rush. But he can't bull rush anybody from where he is. See if we can stun this guy. Javek is gonna mind blast this dude. Evade, yes. This guy only has 5 vitality left. Let's put a smackdown on him. Actually, you know what? No. Bull Rush! Which pushes him back. Oh, but he's using a sling, so that doesn't really hurt us. I mean, that doesn't really help us because he can still attack with his sling. Morwen can't do anything from where she is. She has to spend her turn just moving up. Let's just finish this guy off if we can. Nope, we didn't quite finish him off. Ooh, big sling damage. Premonition. Premonition. Oh, Morwen's really getting hit a lot. Alright. She's gonna kick this guy. Now he can't attack this round. Target and cover, evaded. Boro, can we finish this one off? No! Damn it, Boro. Expected better from you. I'm gonna use resourcefulness to boost her defenses. See, your leader, as a leader, you're not actually in the fight. These are just your companions fighting. But as a leader, you can use this resource to do different things that affect the fight as well. Alright, can we finish this guy off with Mind Blast, please? Thank you. I'm gonna kick him again. Or I'm gonna miss. Good evasion. I'm gonna strafe so that I can get back into that position. And attack at the same time. See, if this guy was down here or here, he could bull rush that guy, but as it is, he can't. But he can smack this guy in the back right here. Because nobody's blocking him. Morwen's really getting hurt here. Just gonna drop Mind Blasts on this dude. Uh-oh, she's about to go down. She's only got 2 vitality left. Let's kick this guy again. See if maybe we can finish this guy off. Nope, not quite. Boro, finish him off. There we go. Now it's just you, spear guy. Kick him! He blocked, but it still might push him back. No, it didn't. I'm gonna premonition. Wait. I could hypnosis this guy. Forcing him to move back and not be able to attack. Now we can hit him. With impunity. Let's just keep knocking him back. Hopefully we can keep him from attacking at all. Mind Blast. Finish him. It's not going to finish him, but Next hit will kill him. Java gets 2 turns in a row. Yay. We win. That's our 3rd arena match. The poachers are defeated. While your companions are cheered by a frenzied crowd, Falco tells you that you've earned a shot at the current champions. You can challenge them when you feel you're ready to take them on. I'm not ready. You pocket your winnings and take your companions to rest. So, that time we earned 7 bras. So we spent 1 bras hiring Boro. So we netted 6 silver out of that win. But now we're going to have to spend a healing supply on Morwen. A medical supply. So now we have to rest for the night. Because when you fight in the arena, it forces you to rest for the rest of the night. So, I was feeding my people double food, but I don't think I need to do that. I'm just going to feed them single food. And I'm going to pay them what I owe them for the day. We're going to do the good relaxation, which costs 2 silver, but which gives +1 vigor to keep everybody... maybe we won't this time. Maybe we'll just do normal relaxation. Not the premium relaxation. Alright, that's good. They're getting paid, so they should be happy. Alright, so my caravan now is well rested. They have great morale. They're super happy. We've got a good amount of money. A good amount of cargo space. In fact, we have so much cargo space, I'm thinking of selling another Beast of Burden. I get 6 gold for it, and I get less consumption of food because I'm no longer feeding a whole beast, but it takes off 60 cargo. I think it could be worth it. Then my cargo would go down to 250. But that's still plenty. I'm gonna sell another one of my beasts. Downsizing the caravan. Cargo goes down to 250. That's fine, but consumption went down as well. Gonna need more medical supplies and more. So let's go bet on the fights today. It's only 2 Leerg. And we always lose when we bet on the fights. We always lose. Let's seek out the medicos. Let's get some medical supplies. For 8 Leerg. Let's leave the pit. We're not ready to challenge the champions yet. Hashtag premium relaxation. Let's explore the city. The Bazaar is the beating heart of the city. Representatives of many comitati peddle their wares here. Food, tools, animals, slaves, and other goods change hands rapidly under the colorful but soot-covered awnings. You can't decide if the constant shouting or the brutal stench is more invasive to the senses. After taking a look at a dozen stands, you end up at a stinky shop in a small street behind the bazaar. The shopkeeper, a wraith with a prosthetic leg, deals in curios and trinkets that immediately draw your attention. You single out 3 items that might be interesting and that are potentially magical. When you ask the shopkeeper what they do, she grins at you condescendingly. Wraiths are known for being extremely shrewd hagglers. Can't say much, good master, unless, she stares at your purse. Have we read about wraiths before? Children of the Calamity. Pretty sure we have read about wraiths before. Maybe not, because we only had 59 a second ago. Now we have 60. Wraiths are diminutive subterranean humanoids native to the caverns below Devon. They managed to spread over the whole continent despite their awful reputation as thieves and corpse eaters. Wraiths are small, furtive creatures, white-skinned, completely hairless, black-eyed, armed with jagged teeth that can tear flesh. They can see perfectly in the dark, but are allergic to sunlight. Wraiths can contort their bones and bodies to fit into small crevices. They are known for their ability to digest a lot of things that would kill others. Their resistance to toxins and diseases is astounding. The creatures colloquially called wraiths are one of the children of the Calamity, that is, beings that were transformed by the immense arcane powers unleashed in the catastrophe. Such mutations could not have occurred in a matter of a century normally, yet they did. I thought maybe someone was at my door. Aided by unspeakable magical forces unleashed as well as the fallout that remained. Thus, the people of the city of Devon changed into the wraiths inside their underground shelters in several decades after the calamity struck. They spent centuries down there in the tunnels, buried under the ruins of the city, before the new empire rediscovered them, and thus adapted to their environs astonishingly. Since their discovery, wraiths have spread slowly but steadily throughout the empire, though they mostly keep to places where there is little light, or where one can hide from it. Therefore, they travel rarely. Due to their unsavory reputation of being corpse eaters, the Church of Oscul demonizes them, and the general population distrusts them. However, this gives them the ability to move unseen by most who turn away from them. Though they do not have a culture of their own, they do stick together and form communities within communities, following their own leaders and agendas, which mostly involves getting rich. They do prefer eating raw, dead meat. Alright, so they sound perfectly lovely. Alright, we got a pale blue crystal that costs a silver coin, a pretty bone necklace with a yellow gemstone that costs 4 leerg, or a jade figurine that costs a silver. Let's see what I can learn about the items. You examine the items closely. The crystal has some strange haze inside that makes it glow slightly. It fits your palm perfectly. The necklace is made of sturdy ivory, but the gemstone is no more than a cleverly cut piece of amber. The jade figurine is in the shape of a bird of prey. Even if it is mundane, it might fetch a decent price. You could also pay the wraith to reveal what she knows. Perk magic sense required, which apparently I have. Evaluate required, which apparently we have. Ancient lore required, which apparently we have. We do? You're lying right now. I don't think it's gonna let me see my characters, but... Or I can just pay her a leerg. 1 leerg? Okay, I can afford a leerg. But let's appraise our own shit. Let's see if we can discern something from their history and craftsmanship. According to your knowledge of lore, the crystal is nothing exceptional, even if competently carved. The jade figurine is finer work, but not very old or very special. However, the bone pendant is a rare charm that the Sadirar tribes value greatly. These are given to sweethearts and are blessed by shamans of the Earth tribe. If taken to Sadirar territories, it could be traded or sold for quite a lot. Let's appraise the worth of the items. Though the crystal and the bone pendant are not worth much, the jade figurine would fetch quite a price due to its size, clearness of jade, and exquisite craftsmanship. The wraith is clearly ignorant of this because he charges too little for it. I thought it was a she. The crystal emanates magical energies, but not the others. Magical energy emanates from the pale blue crystal. It is raw energy that someone trained could use to charge their own spells and incantations. It is quite clearly a very useful trinket. A bird of prey. That's right, Nox. You know what? I'll spend a leerg. You pay the wraith to share what she knows. The shopkeeper pockets the coin and points at the blue crystal.
That one I bought it from a sorcerer fellow from a faraway land, good master. Said it had part of his power in it. The other two I found here and there. No magic in them, I think.
You consider if you can trust her before making a purchase. I want to buy all of them. Time to finalize the deal. Well, okay, I definitely want to get the bone necklace, because I think we're planning to go to the Sidirar territory, and it would be good to have something that the Sidirar want. The bone necklace has no magical properties. You keep it nonetheless. The Jade Figurine cost me 1 brass, but presumably I can sell it for more. The figurine depicts a bird of prey. It is masterfully carved and it's quite heavy. And I'll buy the crystal as well, for 1 brass. As it turns out, the crystal was carved by Kalani crystalmancers to store arcane energy. For anyone who can siphon the energy, the crystal is an invaluable tool. That would be a good bonus, says Nox.
Anything else, good master?
The Wraith looks at you expectantly. That will be all. You leave the shop. Okay, nothing else going on today. Let's look at... So none of these things are in our cargo hold. The bone necklace, a row of small carved bones and beast fangs on a leather strap, sometimes worn by Sidirar tribesmen. And the Jade Figurine, an elegant figurine carved from beautiful jade, could fetch quite a price. Those are not normal items that I can sell at the market. The other item is probably equipment. Right? Like, yeah, a large energy crystal. One of the most common items created by crystalmancy. This dagger-sized pale blue crystal contains arcane energies that the user can tap into and use for spells. It gives magic, or it requires magic sense, but it grants you the conduit perk, which... Doesn't he already have that perk? So he could equip it. And his power goes to 12. Or Morwen could equip it instead of one of these. No. He's going to equip it. You know who I'll really probably put it on is Sidarius once I get him back. So he's the one that has Evaluate and Arcane Lore and History and basically every damn useful thing. So it seems like as long as anybody in your team has a skill or a perk, you get the benefits of it, which is great. We don't have any insight to spend. I spent some on raising my savvy and my perceptive and my strong-minded. That would be a good bonus. A good bonus. This is weird. Can't sell iron. Now there were some places. Oh yeah, he might want to buy. Scornar might want to buy this thing. The Jade Figurine. Sell the Jade Figurine. Scornar says it's the perfect for his mantelpiece. He gave me 1 brass and 5 liurg. And we paid 1 brass for it, so we just made 5 copper. I thought maybe we'd find out how much he was offering before it was finalized, the sale, but I guess not, because I was gonna also take it to this sorcerer. See, I can sell him stuff, But I don't actually want to sell anything. I just want to know how much he's offering for it. I bet he would like the energy crystal, though. But it's pretty useful. We're going to hold on to it. Alright. I think if we're going to investigate, we can ask Skornar to help us. So, I guess we will do that. Skornar's gaze darkens.
Them boys down in Scoria are not joking. What do you want to kick into that Yerg nest for?
You meet his stare. Only after a few seconds he smiles that mischievous smile of his again.
None of my business, I know. Forget my asking. You did a great service to Narbo and me, so I'll help you out for free. Tell you the truth, I don't much like these Scoria smelter boys much. You go and start sniffing around in their turf, and my guy will already be there to help you out. You just look for the blue mask tattoo on his arm.
Hopefully he'll keep his word. So far Skornar's been cool. He's helped us out a lot. He's been legit. Alright, time to do the final part of the investigation, which is the Smelter's Collegium and Gallows Anvil. Need to take a drink. The Collegium's headquarters is a large tavern called Gallows Anvil, right next to a bathhouse at the border of Scoria and the streets below the Villa District, filled with foundries and metallurgical workshops. The place is among the better ones in town, and the regulars are smiths, smelters, their novices and merchants. All belong to the Smelter's Collegium. It would not be difficult to find someone higher up in the guild and talk to them. Javek can scan whoever you talk to for surface thoughts, but asking about their possible connection to abolitionists might raise suspicion. So how do you want to approach them? Just a second. Okay, so I can pretend that I'm a merchant wanting to deal in the black market, which will cost me 1 brass, apparently. I can introduce myself. Hello! It is I, King of the Abolitionists! It's just like, hey, don't talk about abolitionists, that'll raise suspicion. Hi, you know what's great? Abolitionists. I want to be an abolitionist. What's up, abolitionists? Who my abolitionist homies up in here? Attempt to bribe them for information directly, or use Skornar's help. Oh, we'll use Skornar's help. This man is waiting for you here. The 2 fellows you and Javek end up talking to, representatives of the Collegium, are joined by Skornar's man, a half-elf with a charming smile, mismatched eyes, and a blue mask tattoo on his forearm. He negotiates in your name, presenting your association with Skornar. You talk about your interest in the black market. The half-elf guides the conversation every time he senses the representatives are becoming suspicious or defensive. They are very dodgy when it comes to their partners at the market, especially ones who deliver contraband from outside the city, so you end up not pushing that angle. In the end, you manage to establish a contact with the black market through them, and would be able to place an order, not that you intend to, but little else. When you leave, the half-elf smiles at you apologetically outside the tavern. Not sure I was much help, but it seems these fellows are vehemently protecting their partners in crime. Hope it wasn't for naught, though. You thank him and take your leave. You consult Javik when you are far from Gallows Anvil. He looks exhausted. Sorry, boss. It was very tough jumping between mines.
Didn't get much from them apart from a sense that our knightly friend's suspicion was well-founded. They surely have dealings with the abolitionists, but protect their identities far more vehemently than that of simple illegal business partners. I could not get much, except a glimpse of a street with a long yellow building, when one guy was thinking about contacting their associates. That'll have to do, it seems. All we gotta do is go find long yellow buildings. Alright, what we're gonna do is go back and see if we can report to Sidarius now. Which we can. Report our findings. Abolitionism, am I right? I'm kind of an abolitionist, actually. When I got to this town, I sold all my slaves. So I no longer have slaves in my caravan. I used to have 11 slaves. Now I don't. Finally, Sidarius says scornfully when you return and tell him you are done with the investigations. There are a few other Surgarodites in the room, watching silently. You recount everything you learned in the last few days, and Javik details his mental scans. Sidarius and his cronies listen intently. Hashtag Sands of Slavery. In before they're all long yellow buildings. Following your report, Sidarius goes behind closed doors with 2 priests of Surgarod and a couple of executors, while you were told to stay put for now. They emerge after a quarter of an hour, and the executors leave right away. The knight approaches you with an uncharacteristic smile on his otherwise grim face.
We've got them now, Vagrus. Thanks to the information you provided, we have located the traitors' headquarters in the city. A long, yellow building, the district of Scoria, and a man named Hanvius. It so happens that Gaius Hanvius, a wealthy merchant and city official, who was known to be conducting shady business in the name of the Prefectus, owns a large yellow warehouse in Scoria. The whole block is abandoned, making it an ideal place for a hideout.
That may not mean anything, Javik starts to say with a frown before Sidarius interrupts him.
No, they are there! All of us can sense their treacherous stench, and Surgarod's servants are never wrong about such things.
The way he says it shuts Javik up for good.
Ready your men, Vagrus. We strike as soon as you are ready.
Wait a moment. Willing to help with the investigation, nothing more. That'll cost you extra. It's my honor to serve the Empire. I'll help out if I must, but I don't like it. Wait a moment. Sidarius looks at you for some long, silent moments before speaking. The priests are also fixing you with their grim gazes.
I told you the Empire needed you and your crew to conclude the investigation on the abolitionists. Until their nest is destroyed, the investigation is not concluded. The local temple will send every able hand to set up an ambush on the warehouse. But with your help, we will be able to guarantee nobody escapes the snare. Do not come between a Surgarodite and his prey, Vagrus. There is little more dangerous than a knight of the Black Sun who is denied his prey.
It seems like you won't be able to wriggle your way out of this just yet. No wriggling. Wriggle-raggle. Leaving the hideout, you set out to the Mancio. You can see how Javik is worried. He sighs. I don't like where this is going, boss. The last thing we needed was getting involved in this conspiracy with the local underworld, the city's leaders, bandits, and the damn fanatics all tearing each other apart with us in the middle. For the first time in a long while, I don't know what you're thinking. Just when you're about to say something, he goes on. You don't have to say anything, just know that this is how I see things now, and also that many fellows in the crew are thinking the same. We know there's little you can do to get rid of our nightly parasite at present, but keep in mind what we originally set out to do. You keep walking, thinking about what he said. The two of you return to the Mancio. You can't help thinking about how this will end. Prepare for what is to come. Oh, I got a bunch of XP though! Plus 20 insight. Plus 20 insight. Plus 20 insight. Plus 20 insight. It's 35 to raise resourcefulness. Oh my god, I never knew you could scroll down here. Look how many fucking skills there are. Oh, we're taking con. Oh, we're Nox bluffing all day. It's con time, folks. It is fucking con time. Oh my god, there's so many skills. Double con. Boom. We're gonna be the bluff master. You know how to swindle people. Double con. Nox bluff. Alright, let's proceed with the ambush on the warehouse where the abolitionists are hiding. You arrive at the rendezvous point set by Sidarius, accompanied by your fighting crew only. It is a few blocks away from the warehouse itself, in the enclosed atrium of an abandoned house. A group of grim-faced and visibly anxious Surgarodite novices are gathered around several priests and executors. The Black Knight is also there, standing tall next to a wall, arms crossed, looking at his allies thoughtfully. Everything happens fairly fast afterwards. You learn of the attack plan that involves the Surgarodites surrounding the warehouse and blocking all exits, while a force of executors and priests attacks from two sides. In the meantime, you take your companions and Sidarius to the third rear door in an alley and deal with the ones that remain. The strike force sets out immediately. Following Sidarius, you go around several blocks and end up behind the warehouse. The attack commences as planned, with novices rushing into the streets. Your group enters the Black Alley just as you hear the shouts and painful cries. The main force must have entered the warehouse. You don't even make it to the back door when it bursts open and several armed men rush out. Your companions and fighters engage them right away. Am I ready for this? Am I ready for this? Am I ready for this? Third pit fight. Scornor promises help. Alright, let's engage right away. Oh shit. It's a gang of dudes. Oh, but I've got this guy. That's the guy that got instantly one-shotted the last time. Hopefully he'll do better this time. The Sean Bean of Vagrus. Hey, Splode, welcome back. Of course you gotta hit my person instead of one of these two. Oh, shit. Somebody attacking back rank with their bullshit-ass sling. Javok's already down to 5 health. Alright, it's premonition time. Sup, Splode? Morwin. I can't whip that guy, unfortunately. He's blocked.
It can't really do much other than just hit this one person. Is this similar to D&D style combat? I mean, ish. It's not all that similar. I'm gonna have him boost himself with vengeance. Alright, the Sugarodite Executor can do a smashing blow. He can do a shield push. Or he can do a shattering blow. Let's push this guy back. No, I did not pick or design any characters. This is just the prologue, and in the it's like a tutorial, and in the tutorial you play a different character than you play in the actual game. Mind Blast, more premonition. I'm gonna force this guy to move. Now, Morwen, when a problem comes along, you must whip it. We pull him up. Now we can wreck the fucking slinger, so he's not slinging away at my... Well, I mean, you get to level up the characters and pick upgrades for them and stuff. But, no, it doesn't show you anything about what it would be like creating your character in the first place. Alright, he's gonna cleave. Good block. Missed because of cover. Shield push him again. It didn't work? It didn't push him. Let's Mind Blast this guy. Apparently I can't strafe because there's nowhere for me to move to the side. So I'm just gonna Siznak this guy. Alright, one more damage and he'll die. He can cleave. Yeah! Sling guy is dead. Alright, we're gonna do Shattering Blow. Oh, crit for 5! Take it to the face! A miss. I'm gonna kick this guy back. I'm gonna finish this guy. Oh, he does a lot of damage once he's got that self buff on. Javik is getting premonition again. This guy's got to move up because he's been kicked back. The Executor can't actually do anything, sadly, because he's too far away. He's gonna switch places. Javik's gonna Mind Blast. Ooh, crit for 5. was gonna bane him. Don't know if it's really necessary at this point, but fuck it. Now the Executor can hit him. And I can finish him off with a Mind Blast. Yeah, well, the game is in pre-alpha, so they probably haven't added very much music or anything yet. I don't even know. They're probably going to have some voice acting and stuff, too. I mean, most of it won't be voiced, but there is one guy in the very beginning when you start the game that talks to you with voice acting a little bit. You are quickly finishing off stragglers and gather your team after the skirmish when a wounded priest stumbles out of the back entrance. Panting, he tells you the warehouse is cleared out, but a group of abolitionists manage to break out and escape through rooftops towards the south. Sidarius beckons you and you start to run. You catch up with your fleeing foes as they descend from a low building's roof onto an abandoned street. One of them, an archer, spots you and lets loose an arrow. It pierces the throat of one of your fighters, who tumbles to the ground. Oh, I just lost a fighter. Oh well, we don't have to pay him, feed him now. Sidarius charges ahead with a war cry. Your group and theirs clash moments later. A brutal fight commences. 2 fights back to back, huh? Alright, we're gonna put her up here. And him right here. Well, everybody's power is refreshed to full, but not health. Dude, this is gonna be a tough fight. Without that other guy, Javik's about to die already. They got archers and slingers who are gonna piece him the fuck up. I'm gonna save all of my resourcefulness for raising dead allies. Alright, we're gonna do this. Premonition. Thanks, Premonition. It's like guidance. Oh, she's stunned or something? She's immobilized. Well, she's not too immobilized to... All she can really do is attack. Let's just work on this guy. So Darius is gonna self-buff. We're in trouble here. I don't think we're gonna win this fight. She evaded back. We're not doing well here. Morwen's stuck in the back row and she's immobilized, so she can't do anything at all. She has to just pass her turn. Oh, now she's gonna die. Alright, so Darius can cleave. Alright, that was good. Oh no! Alright, we're gonna bring her back with her resourcefulness. And we're going to Mind Blast this dude. Take him out! Ah, damn it! 1 point less damage than was needed. Cleave again. There we go. One of them's off the board. One of them's close to dead as well. Morwen's back there still immobilized, fucking around in the back rank. Oh, but she evaded forward, even though she was immobilized. Uh-oh. It's not good. No! Javik's going down! Alright, let's get Javik back up. That's the end of our resourcefulness. Morrowind, finish this guy off. And then... Javik is gonna re-premonition. We're gonna kill that slinger next. There's a good hit. No. Oh, he's down again. Fuck. That miss was really a problem for us. They're still hitting him even though he's down? Oh no, they're gonna go through his reserve vitality, and then he might actually die. Can we kill this guy, please? There we go, big crit. No more buffs, just attack. No! Javik is dead! They just shot him while he was already down! Why? Why would you do that, you fucking archer? Vengeance! DM is a dick. Okay, this one archer is apparently fucking Legolas. Okay, here we go. Victory. But a Pyrrhic victory. Did I just lose another fighter? Though clearly wounded, the archer manages to get away. Her men sacrifice themselves to save her. There's no point in trying to catch her, as your own companions are fairly badly bruised themselves. You trudge back to the warehouse, now secured by the Siguratites. The streets are a grim sight. Bodies or parts of them lie everywhere. Mostly abolitionists, but quite a lot of novices too. An executor reports to Sidarius. Apparently all but a handful of the enemy was slain, while they lost a priest, 2 executors, and a dozen novices. In spite of that, it is clearly visible that they are elated by the bloodshed. They have also taken a prisoner, who is being questioned, as testified by the painful cries coming from the warehouse. Sidarius tells you to wait here while he personally interrogates the captive. I don't like these methods. You get disapproving looks from the bystanding Sigurd novices when you tell Sidarius you dislike this cruelty. He purses his lips as he turns back to face you.
Unfortunately, Vagrus, you are not in charge here. And this being a matter of utmost importance to the Empire, I am glad that such weakness in judgment does not hinder our efforts.
The painful cries and sobs escalate shortly after Sidarius enters the warehouse, only turning to dead silence after a couple of minutes. The night returns a moment later. But, is my guy dead? Somebody tells you he got what he wanted.
Sigurd is with us, Vagrus. We have struck a major blow to the enemy. Judging from the contraband in this building, these abolitionists have been smuggling goods they took from Comitati and other travelers for years now. The tunnel they dug under the wall that connects to the warehouse confirms this.
The Black Knight says, bristling.
Our prisoner was kind enough to tell on his friends, though. There are 3 camps hidden in Arenas Vorax.
Arenas Vorax? A sub-region of the Searing Plains, Arenas Vorax, the Voracious Sands, is a hot, arid, and dry desert of sand dunes and little else, famous for its many quicksands that devour anything and anybody that stray onto them. Arenas Vorax is the northeastern part of the plains, south and east of the Smolderbone Flats. This large, flat region is swept by strong winds and beaten by a relentless, scorching sun at all times. Wait a minute, didn't I read this? I did read this. This game reminds me of Tyranny. Yeah. It does have a lot of similarity to Tyranny.
Where they direct their attacks from. Each no more than several days of travel from Avernum to the south and east. Our next move is to strike at these camps now that their operation in the city is eliminated. Their supporters and allies will lay low for quite a while after today's show of force.
He pauses, looking at you with a piercing gaze.
I have decided that we'll join your comitatus, and you'll help us seek these camps in the wasteland.
No way. I have done all you asked. It was supposed to end here.
It was indeed, but Sergorod must have foreseen this, that we'll need a comitatus to find and destroy the enemies of the Empire, and put you in our way.
The knight's eyes glow with an otherworldly light as he speaks. To underline his point, several Sergorodites move closer to you and your companions. All of a sudden, the alley feels very crowded.
You do not wish to defy the will of Sergorod, do you, Vagrus? Should you do so, a terrible curse will be placed on you and your crew. This geas will not be lifted until I say so. Consider your comitatus commandeered until this business is finished.
What a dick. I have not played Serpent in the Staglands, no. From this point onwards, you and your crew are always accompanied by Siguradites. Javik says nothing, but you can almost feel his ire. Is it directed at you? For better or worse, your fate seems tied to that of the abolitionists. Before you leave the site of the brutal fight, Sidarius turns to you.
So that you know how valuable your aid is to the Empire and its tireless servants, I want you to know this. I hereby vow on the name of Sergorod that should you aid me in eliminating the threat of these abolitionists and help me capture their leader, I shall set you free from your services and see to it that you'll be most handsomely rewarded.
Right. In before, here's your 2 silver. The knight has a constipated look. It looks like you got a problem there that you need to take care of, Sidarius. Like someone who has a really hard time admitting something. He clears his throat.
I hope that suffices. Go and see to your business here quickly. We set out as soon as you are able.
You take your leave and trudge back to the Mancio with your companions, bruised and bone-tired. A platoon of Sigurd executioners already guard the inn by the time you get there, packed and ready to leave Avernum with you, and turn in for the night. So he's still alive apparently, but he's very badly hurt. I'm gonna have to give him a medical supply. And her too. Now we got Surgerites in our crew that are gonna be eating up our fucking food. We're gonna pay now.
Normal rations. I'll go ahead and do the nice relaxation. We need it. We're gonna heal her with medical supplies. We're gonna treat Javik with medical supplies. Sidarius is fine, I think. I'm gonna ask him what he thinks about the abolitionists.
Look, I know these abolitionists are murderers and a plague on honest folk. I know they fell into banditry and ended up committing despicable acts. But I also know that most of them did not choose this life. No, most of them were forced into this life after an inordinate amount of abuse at the hands of their former masters. Does that alleviate their crimes? I don't know. I only know that I don't know how to make sense of all this. But as a former slave, I don't think the solution to this whole matter is more cruelty. We know about this, we know about this. We know about this. What do you think about Sidarius and his mission?
I really despise the way the knight pressed us into service, even if it is service for the Empire.
Your friend's voice betrays disdain when he says the last few words. He waits a while before going on.
So he needs my arcane abilities as well as your leadership, contacts, and wits to untangle this mess his church and order got themselves into. Why did he not ask or hire us like normal people would? Why this chain of inferred threats and play on patriotic feelings?
He sighs and shakes his head.
Of course, these are all rhetoric questions, boss. I know the answer to them very well. Be that as it may, I say we give the knight what he wants and then get out of here as fast as we can, even if we might not like where this is going.
What about this other one about Sidarius?
I think I've already given voice to my scorn towards this holy quest he is on, and the company he keeps is in no way convincing that this is anything more than a series of assassinations, and it makes me feel dirty, and I'm powerless to dissociate myself from it.
Javik looks at you.
But I know it's probably the same for you, boss, and for most of the crew. He has you, he has us in his hold for now, and there's nothing we can do, right? Well, we can always stand up to him when he and his cronies commit acts too horrid to describe. Otherwise, we're not much better than them, I think.
He still doesn't want to talk about where he got his telepathic training. Alright, we've talked to her about that, we've talked to her about that. We've talked to her about that. Yeah, she doesn't have anything new to say. You said that before.
Your sorcerer proved that he can be extremely useful, yet most Circarod priests can do what he can and even more. I'm sure you've heard that it's impossible to lie to a priest of Circarod and get away with it. It's all true, Vagrus. The powers our Lord imparts on them make them see through dishonesty with little effort.
Realizing he's rambling, Sidarius clears his throat, thinks for a moment, then goes on.
I am not impressed by your friend's attitude toward my men and our cause, to be honest, Vagrus. This is not the behavior servants of the Empire deserve from one of his stature and occupation. Make sure he does not overstep his bounds, else I can't guarantee I'll always remember his usefulness.
We know about that. We can't ask him about Avernum anymore. Ask him about his current mission.
We are to locate and eliminate the 3 abolitionist bandit camps scattered around the Searing Plains, specifically over Arenas Vorax. One should be due south from Avernum, the other 2 perhaps east of that. Be prepared for a fight.
he says mechanically, then turns to you and sees the frown on your face.
Do not believe that I'm ignorant to your plight, though.
The way he says it borders on kindness.
You've been meaning to follow your agenda, but were swept up in this investigation, I know. But my priority is always that which is best for the Empire. So if it means making you follow orders you don't like...
His voice trails off and he shrugs.
Both of us are equally bound, Vagrus, by the Empire, by the Triumvirate.
What a dick. Alright. Alright, we pay now, regular rations, good relaxation, and day. So now let's take a look at our status here. Morale is fantastic, vigor is great. We're now carrying a fuckload of assholes that need to be fed and stuff. Our upkeep is the same. Consumption. We did lose a fighter, so I might want to replace that fighter that we lost. Actually, we lost 2 fighters, didn't we? So I'm going to hire 1 fighter. We got 4 fighters and the 2 outriders now. Plus we have the Surgarodites, which I think can fight for us, plus our scouts, so I think that's good. Then we're definitely going to need to buy supplies, because I'm down to 139 supplies. I don't think we have any business. We could explore the city one more time. Go for a walk and see what you can find. 3 brothers from Larnak. What is today the imperial city of Larnak stands on the site of a great tectum. That is, a natural or artificial vault or shelter underground where many people survived the calamity in the following centuries. Tectum dweller. Larnak has several tall watchtowers made of dark stone. But most of the city is underground, safe from the deadly sun, either under the great sandstone domes with holes, or even deeper, in the ancient tectum that was converted to house thousands. Tunnels and corridors are its streets, while cavernous halls are its squares and buildings. A large gate that opens southwards leads into Larnak. Though it's not the only entrance, it is the only public one. The region was originally dotted with hills and small mountain ranges, as well as continuous forests. Under these ranges were vast caverns, carved by some ancient beings that the original inhabitants of the region only referred to as worms. Whatever these creatures were, they were huge, and left a hive-like structure behind that survived into the calamity. This was used as a tectum by the ancestors of the Sadrirar people, who followed divine warnings and hid in the shelter. 3 centuries after the calamity, people emerged and went out into the desert, becoming Sadrirar tribes that now inhabit the region, fully abandoning Larnak in the process. The 5th century brought imperial presence, and the city was resettled, with an outpost placed above the tectum, still under the dome filled with holes. Because water can be found below Larnak, it's strategically important, and soon rose to the status of a major imperial city. Sadrirar emerged in the 6th century and waged a war against Imperials in a bid to reclaim the site which they considered sacred. Eventually, the war ended when diplomats convinced the tribesmen to settle down in Larnak with autonomy and control over the water reserves. Thus, Vitrar shamans have been in control of the water in Larnak ever since, to the slight dismay of Imperial authorities. The 7th century marked the return of the worms. They caused great devastation, but eventually the combined forces of Imperial, Dark Elven, and Sadrirar forces defeated them and drove them back into the deepest reaches of Arenas Vorax, where they dwell and breed to this day, out of sight and mind of most citizens. Yet the people of Larnak dread the day when the worms return and burrow into their homes. Return of the worms. Here's Larnak down here.
So ostensibly we're supposed to be going this way, because we're supposed to be going to Devon, coming through Ash. We're supposed to be going to Ash, but instead, now we're going to have to go south to Udvarar and Vitrar and fucking around down here in the desert. Not the direction that we want to go. Three brothers from Larnak seek you out upon your return to the Mancio after you've spent several hours exploring the city. The brothers heard about your comitatus and destination in the east. They would like to join you to share the burden of the road. All three of them are skilled fighters, and they would like to reach Ash, where their associates are waiting for them. They will pay you when you get there. I'll send for you when we set out. It may take a few days to conclude my business here. Take the brothers with you when you leave Avernum. Why not? So now we've got some more dudes. Well, they're not really showing up on here yet, but we got some more dudes. Let's do one more bet on the fighting pits, because that's worked out well for us so far. You bet on the fight? Hey, my fighters lose again. It's just like throwing 2 Leerg in the toilet every day. Okay, that's about it. It's about all we need to do here. It's about ready to finally leave Avernum. We've been here forever. I just need to buy some supplies. Just need to buy some supplies. Alright. I don't know how many days of supplies I want. You never know when you're gonna want to feed your people extra, though. So... I want to say 10 days worth of supplies should be enough. That only leaves me 70 cargo space, unfortunately. Unless I hire some more workers. Or something, but I'm not going to. They only carry 1 cargo each. Okay, I think we're ready to go. We're well rested. We're great morale. My people are paid. We've got lots of extra money. We've got a good amount of supplies. It's time to leave. Make ready to leave Avernum. Nothing prevents you from leaving now. You approach the gates, comitatus packed up and ready to go. Grim-faced Surgarites approach you with slaves in tow. Carry amphoras full of supplies. So I can choose that, or I can just be like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna reach the gates. The guards check your cargo and talk to you briefly as the comitatus moves through the gate. Did you pay your tax upon entry? Yes, I already paid the tax. You're finally outside the city gates. The comitatus stretches out into a line and you start to head towards your destination. Oh, now I can decide to take the 3 brothers or fucking ditch them. I'll take the 3 brothers even though I have a feeling they're gonna eat up some of my food and make it so we have less supplies, but I'll take them. Yeah, see, we already went down to 9.
With the Black Knight's investigation concluded in Avernum, we were yet again chained to his will and purpose. Commandeered from our original venture, we set out across vast plains of sand and rock in search of escaped slaves that preyed upon travelers. We could only dream that we'd make it out of this predicament alive and could return to our journey eastwards.
One thing I wish is that you could scroll this map, you know, the travel map. Because I can't really see where I'm going. Okay, this is where we are. There's Flame Tear Lake. There's Udvorar. We've got... Take the brothers to Ash. Capture the outlaw chieftain. We don't know where he is. Roving undead abomination. Don't know where it is. Eliminate the camps. We don't know where they are. Kill the Jokra Alpha. We don't know where it is. Outlaw chieftain again. Take the merchants to Vitrar. Conclude the investigation. I got an enchanted bone. There's a hidden trading post. It's 2 days almost due southeast of Avernum. So I guess we just start going. So now I can go wherever I want. See you later, Sin. Have a good one. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. Good night. Right, I'm gonna go this way. The searing plains do what their name suggests. They sear. The air is incredibly hot, but after a while it grows even hotter. Although you wouldn't have thought this to be possible. Soon you find out why. From the direction the Comitatus is headed towards, the infamous wind of the plain comes up and grows within a matter of minutes into a tremendous, unceasing gale. Luckily, it's not strong enough to whip up a full-blown sandstorm, but it makes getting ahead extremely difficult nonetheless. You and your Comus find yourself almost knee-deep in swirling sand and struggling for every single step. Even the beasts of burden press themselves at an angle against the snifter. I can endure, or I can use survival perk. Analyzing the direction of the gale, you find an angle which makes it somewhat easier to press on. It comes with a slight detour, but still. Yeah, we'll do that. I lose 2 movement. Analyzing the direction of the gale, you find an angle. Okay, slight detour. Lose 2 movement. But I still get to the place. We have 4 movement left. So let's keep moving. Well, I guess we'll head to Udvorar first, since it's the first place we've kind of encountered here. But now we're out of movement for the day, so it's time to camp. The deputies pane is now active. Navigate to it by clicking the Assign Deputies button, or clicking the deputy sheet on the top left. Tell me more about assigning deputies. Deputies are your officers in the Comitatus. On this pane, you can assign your companions to deputy roles and check what boons each deputy provides. You can assign a companion to a deputy role by dragging and dropping their portrait in an available slot. Available slots are signified by a coin. Only companions with a deputy perk can be assigned. One companion can only fill 1 role, even if they are eligible to more, and each role can be filled only once. The maximum number of assigned deputy roles depend on your authority, a leader characteristic. Though you can only assign or remove deputy roles while in camp or resting, you can consult this pane while elsewhere, through the Comitatus management window or directly from the leader window. The scouting feature will be added as part of a later release, but your Comitatus already enjoys the +1 MP benefit from assigning a Scoutmaster. Assign Morwen to the Scoutmaster deputy role. So here's all the
deputy types. You got a guard captain, the head of the fighting crew when it comes to defending the comitatus. You got a scoutmaster, the head of the scouts who coordinates their activities. You got a quartermaster, the person in charge of supplies and provisions, as well as loading cargo and general discipline. You got a chief handler, who handles the animals. You got the slave driver, keeps slaves in check and deals with all their needs, as well as organizes their work. A lore master, a sage steeped in the lore of the land, one who knows the ancient places. A marauder prime, the head of the fighting crew when attacking others. A navigator, the master of the wasteland, someone who can find any path. A supercargo, a specialist in charge of cargo, trading, and making beneficial deals. A venatorus, a master hunter who organizes hunting parties from your scouts, knowledgeable in beast lore and monsters. A treasure hunter, a person who makes a living by plundering dangerous ruins and cursed places, knowledgeable in ancient knowledge. And a spell weaver, a sorcerer who uses powerful magic to protect the comitatus or spy for it. So, we've got Javik, who has the chief handler perk. We've got Morwood, who has the scoutmaster perk. We've got Sidarius, who does not have any deputy perks. Assign deputies. The only one she can be is scoutmaster. He can't be anything. We now have a scoutmaster. Here's what we're gonna do. Javik is gonna get rid of this large energy crystal, and Sidarius is gonna equip it. And alright, no need for guards. +1 vigor. We'll be fine. So I have a scoutmaster and a chief handler. Our morale is great. Our vigor is fresh. It says well rested. So if we go normal supplies, I'm going to keep paying people on a day-to-day basis. That way they don't start getting unhappy. I'm going to do normal defense, no defense, so that we can get extra vigor by letting people rest more. Alright, it's a new day. A beautiful new day. No Vagrus can say what the road will bring. There are often curious things found right next to the path. This day, for instance, you come across a large, solitary group of brambles in the middle of nowhere. Its leaves are muddy green with rust-colored thorns on the sides. The broken ground around it is wet. Fist-sized, blue-tinged, succulent-looking berries grow on most lower branches. Some of the crew is already eyeing and poking the fruit as you arrive to see what the holdup is. They clear the way and wait as you consider your options. A stomach rumbles, followed by light-hearted chuckles. The berries do seem inviting, but that's never a good sign in and of itself out here in the wilderness. Have a volunteer taste the fruit. Do you want to lick the poison fruit? Could be poisonous, forbid them to touch it. Or, because we have the herbalore book, herbalism! Herb mastery! Coming in handy! Thanks, Joe Deaver. Yabui fruit is native to Dajmaha, where it grows in mountainous regions, having spread over to the Atek Mountains as well. Fist-sized, blue-tinged, succulent-looking berries grow on the plant's branches. The fruit is edible and has a sweet-sour taste. Sages say it had to have been modified magically, because it sometimes takes root in faraway lands without any rational explanation. Mountains of Dajmaha. Dajmaha is the land of endless rain, a country of tribal communities and mystical sorceresses in northeast Zarin, occupying a large peninsula that reaches into the Sea of Storms. The country sees more rain in a year than all the other lands of the continent put together, and has a hot, humid climate. Due to this, Dajmaha is completely covered in rainforests. Its seclusion owing to the hard-to-cross Atik Mountains makes the land only accessible via seafaring vessels. Dajmaha can trace its roots back to the old Dujan Empire of the Second Age. When the lands broke apart following the War of Sorcerers, Dujan was decimated, and its landmass ended up on two now distinct continents. The southern realm became Dajmaha, and the rule of the Dujanese warlock kings was quickly toppled following the cataclysm. The three ziggurat cities were taken over by an order of mystics and seers, who from then on regulated the use of magic and eliminated all the horrors left behind by the warlocks. Ooh, ziggurat cities. I like the sound of that. Under the benevolent rule of this order of sorceresses, Dajmaha rose to become a fairly peaceful and progressive nation, though in truth the tribal societies of the deep jungles remained relatively unchanged. The country managed to avoid the calamity completely, as the arcane energies of the apocalyptic phenomenon stopped abruptly at its borders. The new empire took its time to turn its oppressive gaze towards Dajmaha, but not long ago, the land of endless rain finally had to kneel before the might of the 12. Since that time, the land has been under imperial occupation. Due to its curious weather, for Zarinese standards, Dajmaha has some things in abundance that other realms have very little of: timber and fruit. Before imperial occupation, these goods were loaded onto ships in the ziggurat cities and taken to be sold for great profit in the ports of Tark, Sargot Kala, and the inner coast. Now forests are just cut down to fuel the war effort of the empire. Dajmahan society is twofold. On the one hand, the vast majority of the country's population is made up of jungle-dwelling tribes. They have primitive technology and are often quite savage, but rarely, if ever, leave the confines of the vast jungles of the peninsula. Their fragmented state, thanks to hundreds of beliefs and traditions, prevent them from rising out of this savagery. The dwellers of the three great ziggurat cities form the other part of Dajmahan society. Craftsmen, farmers, and scholars all have a say in the governance of the land. But the true power lies in the hands of the sorceresses, whose mystical order oversees and protects all. The head of the state is the Sorcerer Queen, currently in imperial custody. This sounds like a cool place to go. Dajmahan faith revolves around the idea of Shah, an energy that makes up the universe and facilitates life. More philosophy and a way of life than simply a religion, the Shalimi, way of the Shah, permeates everything Dajmahans do. The Shah represents all that is natural and wholesome. When corrupted by the evil of men or malevolent spirits, the Shah, of a place or a person, becomes sick and corrupting itself. Such deeds lead to tabul, that is, practices shunned and forbidden in Dajmaha. The realm has no priests. Instead, the ruling class of sorceresses in the great ziggurat cities play the roles of religious leaders. Sounds like a cool place. Can we go there? Yeah, there it is. I mean, that doesn't mean we can go there, but it's on the map. Dajmaha. Here's the ziggurat cities. Lazum, Dabasa, and Jakarakand. So maybe we can go there someday. It's called Iabui fruit, and it's native to the mountains of Dajmaha. Nobody knows how, but it can occasionally put roots down in weird places all around the realms. It's quite safe to eat, really. One of your crew who knows their way around herbs volunteers an explanation. The others start harvesting the fruit right away. The fruit is sweet and sour at the same time, according to the first crew member who tries it. The whole bramble yields 2 bushels, not bad for a few free snacks. Later on, you see several of your people taking large bites of the juicy berries. They do seem edible, don't they? Nothing unusual happens, and the fruit turns out to be quite the find. Plus 100 supply. Nice. We have 6 movement left today. Let's move here. And now it's time to camp. Feeling good on the well-rested. We'll keep up with 100 rations. We'll keep up with no defense. We'll keep up with people getting paid day by day. Nothing new happens. We're fervent and well-rested. Now, if I'm correct, Udvarar is the place of the Fire Tribe. Each of the tribes of the Sidirar worship one of the elements, and I think the Fire Tribe is at Udvarar. Yeah, the element of fire. It's a well-protected place. They're kind of militant. So we shall go forth. We shall go forth to meet them. Home to the eponymous Udvarar tribe of fire worshippers, this village is one of the few permanent settlements the Sidirar folk have. Poised on the edge of a large, barren plateau, protected from the raging heat of nearby lava lakes, rows of soot-covered sandstone houses and tents await visitors. Everything is painted orange and red, the holy colors of the great fire spirit. Clothes, awning, banners, and even faces. So, in the Mancio, we can buy rumors. We can do any of this stuff we want to do. Crew, beasts. We can go to their marketplace. They don't have any equipment we want to buy. We could sell them iron, but we're not gonna. We also have this Sidirar bone necklace. Somebody here might want that. Let's buy some rumors. Hidden encampment, it's out there in the desert. Terrible beast, it is on the hunt. Take a look at these rumors we bought. There's talk of a horrid desert beast and a whole pack of smaller vermin that follows it around, attacking everyone they come upon in the arid wasteland. They are fairly cunning, setting ambushes and tracking prey. The pack was last seen about 2 days east of Vitrar. The Sidirar hunters whisper about tracks out in the desert, leading to a camp among the endless dunes. It lies about 2 days southeast of Vitrar. The hunters warn you, however, there is a whole lot of tracks. Both of those say Vitrar rumor source, even though this is not Vitrar.
It's Utvarar. Alright, so we can approach some young warriors, seek out the shamans, or hire scouts. Let's approach the young warriors. They're eyeing you intently. Four young Utvarar warriors are talking in hushed tones next to a row of tents. They greet you politely when you approach them, and ask them why they've been staring at you. "We heard your tribe travels the sands, and may go to faraway lands," the oldest of them says. "The fire in our hearts compels us to seek what is over the horizon. If you wish, we would join your tribe and fight for you." You could hire them if you're looking for warriors, or try to play into their sense of destiny and curiosity. All of you are welcome. I can pay them 3 brass and 2 lyric. That's a lot of money. Or con time! Knox Bluff time! Knox Bluff time! It's an honor to travel with such a renowned comitatus. Get them to join for free. Very high chance of success. Success. "We shall fight for your tribe, then, out of honor," the young warrior says. They grab their gear and join the comitatus. However, upon their joining, it quickly turns out that you haven't paid them a recruiting fee, and this makes your comis disgruntled because they think it was less than fair to the newcomers. Oh, cut the games. Can't please everyone, it seems. Oh, so we lost 1 morale. That is not great, actually. We're down to eager. It'll be okay, though. We have a lot of fighters now. A lot of fighters. And we're going to have to feed them, of course, and we're going to have to pay them. Okay, we have so many fighters. I don't know that I want to hire scouts, but let's find out what happens if some of the locals wish to join you from time to time. Sadirar are renowned for being fantastic trackers, hunters, and scouts, especially, but not exclusively, in the Searing Plains. This village almost always has adventurous tribesmen who are willing to join your comitatus for the right price. I don't feel like I need to hire any scouts. We've already read about the Sadirar. We've already read about the Searing Plains. I'll hire 1 scout because I'm feeling generous. Providing jobs, that's what I'm doing. Boosting the economy. So now I have 4 scouts and 8 fighters and 2 outriders. I've got quite a crew here. I'm paying these people 4.5 a day, and they're eating 108 food a day. I'm gonna buy just enough supplies that it says I have 8 days worth. There we go. Seek out the shamans. Perhaps they can aid you in your journeys. The fire shamans of the Utvarar tribe are the undisputed leaders of their people. Jomo might be here. Nobody would dare provoke their wrath, and rightly so, because like the element they worship, they can be fickle and quick to wreak havoc. The daily gathering of Utvarar's most influential shamans can be attended by outsiders as well, so you trudge over to the brickwork building where the meeting takes place. Inside, it's hot as a furnace thanks to the large fire set in the middle under an opening in the ceiling. The shamans sit in a circle way too close to the flames and discuss the important matters of the tribe, as well as listen to news and propositions from outsiders. After a lengthy discussion of what the fire spirit commands, you get the chance to address the shamans. 1 second.
Alright, I'm back. I can ask for medical supplies. Let's ask about the Utfarar first. Most of them look perplexed upon hearing your request, but then an elderly shaman raises his head and starts to speak in a drawl.
We are the Utfarar of the Sadirar people. Our ancestors survived the burning that destroyed the tribes of the forgotten people that poisoned the land. Before the skies opened and the burning was sent to the earth, our ancestors heeded the warnings of the great spirits and hid underground. Later, the spirits led our ancestors out onto the searing plains and showed us how to survive and where to live. The Utfarar are warriors and explorers, pioneers who fought great battles against the many horrors that lurked in the endless deserts and fields of liquid fire to the north. Thus, Fire Spirit adopted us and we adopted it. We command the flames and heat of the land when we need to. We burn the dead and use great fires to craft things the other Sadirar cannot. And we, like all the 4 tribes, send emissaries to the village of Sadirar, who guide our people in matters that concern all of us.
The other shamans nod in agreement after they realize that the old man had concluded his speech. Ask him if the Vitrar are their enemies.
Why? Why would we be enemies?
One of the shamans looks at you with a confused expression.
Oh, you. You mean because we follow Fire Spirit and they follow Water Spirit? But that would be folly. There is a balance that the Great Spirits strive for, and we need all the 4 tribes to maintain that balance. It is in nobody's interest to repeat the burning. No, outsider. We are allies and friends to the other tribes, even though our ways are our own, and we share a bloody history. Fire Spirit and Water Spirit are not enemies. They complement each other.
I bow my head as a sign of understanding. What do they know about the last pilgrimage? You recount your encounters with the spectral pilgrims. Javek butts in here and there. The shamans ask some questions, then talk to each other in their native tongue. At length, one of them, a small man with a mangy mane of black hair, turns to you.
We know little of these wandering spirits, because we avoid them, just like everyone else. There's a fire burning inside them, but this fire is not of this world, not one with the flame of Fire Spirit. It is kindled in a searing wound, reeking of disappointment, of betrayal. And the flashes you saw, we have heard no account of such a thing. Whatever makes you and your people see them has to be the reason for the specter's apparent attraction towards you, we believe.
He bows his head, indicating that this is all they can tell you. You should thank the shamans for their insights. Oh, I gained some actual insight there. How about medical supplies? They always have some to spare. The shamans gladly provide medical supplies. Concoctions, lotions, poultices, tinctures, and bandages for the right price. 7 lire. That's a little bit cheaper than I was getting medical supplies for from the gladiatorial camp. 3 brass and 4. I don't know that I need that much medical supplies. I'll buy a couple. How's my medical supply? I have 10 now. Okay, that's good. Well, I guess that's all we need to do here in Utfarar. We refreshed our supplies a little bit. We hired a guide. We got some fighters that joined us. We got some medical supplies. We got a tiny bit of XP. We have 12 insight now. Oh, you know what it's time for? Level 3 con, baby! Level 3 con. Nox Bluff all day. All day. Alright, we're done here. We can leave. We can leave Utfarar.
No more codex. The journal is all the normal stuff. Can't scroll on the big map. I can zoom in, but I can only zoom out this far. And I can't scroll to see like what's around. I have to look at the actual chart. So do we want to head toward Vitrar? I think we kind of do. Well, we have to camp now. Alright, regular rations. Defense orders, no need for defense. Pay now. We're well rested and eager. Let's head this way. Experienced travelers can often foretell the weather in this god-forsaken wasteland, but one is never absolutely sure about such matters. The curse that affects the continent can cause unpredictable environmental conditions, often very rapidly. Today started with fairly manageable weather, but soon turned into a storm of sand and volcanic ash, causing you to seriously rethink your course of action. We'll look for shelter and make camp. There's no need to tempt fate. You find a ravine that provides sufficient shelter and use the carts as well to block the wind. Sitting out such tempestuous days is never good for business, but at least gives some free time to rest, make repairs, socialize, and play games. You and your comas quickly end up playing several rounds of dice, and the carts echo with laughter, bets, and jeering. A blessing disguised as a curse? Yay, we gained some morale. I don't want to force march. Oh, I can set waypoints? That's cool. I can be like, yo, I want to go all the way over here. I can't do that. I can be like, yo, you can set waypoints to an extent. Alright, whatever. I guess we need to camp again because we only have 3 movement left. Here's Vitrar right down here. Uh, 100% rations should be fine. Pay my people now. No defense. He's got 10, 12, 15. Everybody's fully healed. Nobody's wounded or anything. So yeah, I don't think there's anything new to talk to my people about. It's end day. As the Comitata strikes camp and dusk falls, the chill of the desert dark sets in. This night, however, is much harsher than what you are normally used to. An ill wind blows and you see small clouds of breath as you exhale. This cold is quite perilous. You have to prepare for an uneasy rest. Feed the fire and gather your resources to make it through the night. We've got a high chance of success because we've got survival. Success. Morning comes at last, but the merciless cold has taken its toll on your crew. Luckily, you were able to avert the worst of it, but people did not rest well. As the sun rises, you press on, somewhat shaken by the cruelty of the wastelands. We lost 1 vigor. Well, that's not good. Starting a new day. Just gonna head this way. And we're pretty much gonna call it a day here. We'll do +1 vigor from no defense, pay the people, regular amount of food, and day. Now we're back to well rested. We're on our way to Vitrar. You know what'd be cool is if
is if there's the Searing Plains, the Jagged Waste, the Forlorn Waste, Arenas Vorax, the Smolderbone Flats, the Arenas Negris, the Molten Tongue. What would be cool is if you could turn on a thing on the map here that would show your path. Like, it would show exactly where you'd been, you know? I'd like to see that. And it has to make that sound effect, obviously. So tomorrow, and I'm not saying this because the stream is over, because the stream is far from over, but tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming all day, and tomorrow we will begin January. Even though it's not going to be January yet. We're going to begin January anyway. January is my month of playing non-violent games without combat. We'll start that tomorrow. So tonight will be the last time I stream Vagrus for probably quite a while. I'll probably wait. I don't want to spoil too much of the game for myself, because I'm really interested in playing it when it comes out now. So I might not stream any more Vagrus after tonight. So at this point, I might go ahead and stop and switch gears to another form of streaming. Another form of streaming. Which is definitely allowed. The game saves whenever you have a new day, so... Vagrus is really cool, though, you guys. It's really cool. I'm gonna play the fuck out of this when it comes out. The fuck clean out of it. So, it's from Hungary, by the way. These developers are based in Budapest. So we got some good games coming out of Hungary. Support them via Patreon. They haven't run any sort of Kickstarter, and I don't think they're planning to. They're just funding this completely from out of their own pocket and whoever donators they can get, and like Patreon and stuff. So pretty interesting. I don't know why they don't do a Kickstarter. This game is solid. Maybe they will when the game is closer to finished and they run out of money and they need to finish it up. Hey, Anonymous, how you doing? Yeah, I hope the rest of its content would be as good as the demo. Have you played it, Anonymous? Have you played the whole prologue? I've only played part of it, but so far it seems really good. They didn't want people to review it negatively so early on. Really?
I don't know why you'd review it negatively. It's pretty great. Considering how early it is in development and, like, unfinished and everything, it feels really well done. Well, they said they're releasing it for early access on Steam in 2019. Stopped at the second city, won't spoil it for myself. Yeah, I've stopped a little ways after leaving Avernum. I don't want to spoil it all either. Some games get killed before they even get finished. Well, hopefully this one succeeds, because they got some great ideas here. Some great ideas.